They gave me a reason to live again and feel I'm a mum. But no one calls me mum anymore. Obviously, they're not going to answer you back. Peekaboo. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. I want the world to know we are not crazy old ladies that are walking around with a pram and a doll in it. This therapy has saved my life. I have my little babies and no one can take them away from me. You don't know until you get close that this is not a real baby. It's a therapy baby, but a reborn doll is actually a work of art. This is my little boy Daniel, and he costs 8,000 American dollars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 babies in my collection. Look at that cheeky face. But she has attitude. It's just something about her. She has pizzazz. And this little munchkin is quite an old baby actually. She was created in 2002. I have twins, Chubby Chops, Angela Rose. I have Pia, then I have my Elvis baby. I'm an Elvis fan, so I love him. They are used for many, many reasons. They're not toys. If I have a down day, I'll just look at Violet, and that straight away calms me. How can you not look at this little face and not think, isn't she the most gorgeous little thing you've ever seen? I am actually a mother of 3 human babies, as I call them now, human babies. I lived in another country. I had a traumatic marriage and I had to leave the country like a thief in the night. And that was the hardest decision I ever made in my life, was to actually leave my boys. Bello di mamma tua. I've been back home now 24 years, and I would say 16 of them, all I did was cry. I tried so hard to get in contact with them, to actually be estranged completely. I could have died from a broken heart. Oh, splashing around. I just would get home to an empty house, being used to cooking for 5, not hearing anybody call me mama. It was very, very hard for me. Always happy, see? Always smiling. One day, desperate, I just went on the internet and just typed in realistic looking dolls. And that's how I came across these beautiful reborns.
This is my reborn doll.
And you can just remove the head. This baby sold super fast.
So my dolls range from $800 upwards of about $1,600 each. I've sold close to 100 reborns now. Got a background in portraits and illustration, and I had the audacity to think maybe I could make one of these dolls. Turns out they're very hard to make. I have had a request from a customer who wanted a reborn to look like her son that was actually stillborn. She actually sent me her unboxing the baby, which was very emotional. Oh God, one moment.
I'm so nervous to open it. Thank you. Oh, look. Oh my gosh.
She shared with me very deeply personal things and shared photos of her little boy. Your job is to match the hair colour, the eye colour, the features, the little marks. For this particular customer, it was the same size. We weighted him the same. Photographing and packing up the doll was very emotional but very special experience.
Oh, it feels like just as light as him. No, it's just up there, so he got to open it with me. Thank you. This little outfit's perfect. I love the little bunny outfit, oh my gosh. Thank you.
When I got my first reborn baby, I just burst into tears. My nurturing just exploded. I would bring her everywhere, and I mean everywhere. I get too emotional when I speak about her. Please, God, give me the strength. When I got her, this baby, I found out that I was going to be a nonna. I have never seen my granddaughter, so I don't even know what she looks like because I don't. So I cuddle her and she's my granddaughter. I'm her nonna. And then I have my baby. He's exactly like my real son. This is a photo of my real baby, my human baby, and this is a replica. I cut my hair and I put my hair on. He's got my hair. I started to actually look if there was any other person in my area who knew about these reborns. There's a group of us that meet up in Fremantle.
And by the way, ladies, I'm reborn pregnant.
Do you know if it's a boy or a girl?
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
Yeah.
I lost my firstborn when I was 14. After my second-born had passed, because I was 6 months pregnant with her when I lost her. Now I've got my daughter's ashes in these dolls, and these are my forever babies.
When I had a miscarriage, I turned Layla into a hybrid. The hybrids have a computer inside them, so they behave like a real baby. You have to respond to them when they cry.
I never had children. I wanted 9 when I was like 18. Well, I got my 9, but they're little fakey babies. And it's like, in some way, they're human, although they're not human.
We do very thin layers to build up a skin tone and depth to create things like veins and capillaries and even dry skin and texture. We also have special types of hair that we use, like goat hair, alpaca hair. We also have hand-blown glass eyes, and all of those things combined make the doll look hyper-realistic. When I attach all the limbs together to the torso, as well as the head, that's when it's become a reborn doll, because it's been born again.
It's like a medicine that you don't take orally, but you feel it. Even my psychologist was on board. He couldn't believe it, the change in me after I started having this therapy.
Humans are programmed to show care and affection and to connect with things that have faces. And so when there's something that actually looks like a young baby, it triggers us to want to show warmth and want to connect to that caring part of ourselves. Reborn dolls have been shown to be very helpful for people who have dementia. They can also be very helpful for people who are neurodivergent. There are some people who actually explore reborn dolls with me, and I would be very careful in the circumstances in which I would recommend them. The reliance on a reborn doll can be problematic in some circumstances.
People think that we believe the babies, that the reborns are real.
Nobody thinks they're real, you know. Everybody knows they're a doll.
I don't understand why grown men can have their toy cars. Aren't they crazy?
At the beginning, we used to have a lot of people say, oh no, I don't want to know, it looks dead, or
It freaks me out.
It freaks me out. Now they are interested in it.
Oh, Bella. She's crying.
Oh my gosh, she looks real. Sometimes these reborn dolls can be stigmatised because people don't really understand them, and the reaction that they get from some members of the public who might be curious can be quite harmful and potentially in some cases destabilising. One of the biggest potential risks is the potential for them to be stuck in one particular part of their grief and not moving with the grief and learning how to live with the loss. Some people might develop an unhelpful fixation. I would be encouraging people to consider connecting to a mental health professional if they were considering utilising reborn dolls for grief work or a therapeutic reason.
I absolutely love delivering the reborn and seeing the way their face lights up and how emotional some of the customers get, and that they are loved so much. For someone who has lost a child, for example, holding that baby in their arms is a way that they can not only cope with that grief, but also a way to remember them.
If it is God's will, I will see my children again. They will always be my babies, and I will love them till my last breath. If they came to the door now and said, Mum, I'm here, I would just welcome them in. I turned 69 and I have a pram and I go out with my babies. I don't care what anybody says, I'm happy.